Hi, this will be a guide on how to pass your ATPL exams. I'll be going over how the exams work and I'll be going over some tips on how to pass them. So why should you listen to me? So I did my ATPL exams at the end of 2018 and start of 2019. I did 14 exams and you can see here are my results, and I passed all of them first time apart from one. So I did actually fail one of the exams. So I'm going to be completely truthful with you guys and give you all the details of how to pass them. So how do the exams actually work? So there is 13 ATPL exams now. They've reduced it from 14, so they've combined the two comms exams together. The exams have a 75% pass mark. So some of the exams, they have a lot of questions. For example, GNAV, performance of principles of flight, and flight planning, meteorology. There are some exams with a lot of questions. So if you get one question wrong in those exams, it's not that big of a deal. But then there are some exams like mass and balance, which I believe only has 24 questions. So if you get one wrong in that, that is a big percentage. So the pass mark is 75% for the exams, but you just have to watch out in the exams with not that many questions. Making mistakes is a big deal. So the exams must be completed in 6 sittings. So firstly, what is a sitting? So you can see here on the right hand side, a sitting in the UK consists of 4 days. So you can see these are the sittings coming up. And so I completed my exams in 3 sittings. I sat 4, 5 and 7 because I had to retake one in the second sitting. But you can do as many exams as you want in a sitting. You could even sit all 13 if in one sitting, but you have to complete them in 6 sittings. So you can take it slow. You can do, however many exams you want in a sitting, but you just have to complete them in 6 as well, and that includes retakes. So you get 4 attempts per exam as well, and if you do take more than 4 attempts, I believe you have to redo all your ATPL exams again, but I don't think you should need 4. I don't think I've heard of anyone needing 4 attempts at an exam. So the exams are randomly computer generated. So how this works is for each subject, for example, let's take mass and balance as an example, there's a database of all the questions, and then a computer randomly generates 24 questions for you. So every person's exam will have different questions. So every person's exam will have a different variety of questions. Now you can get the same questions to other people, but they will just be in a different order because it chooses from the question bank. So you can get similar questions to other people, but they will be just in a different order. And there are many different types of questions you can get in the exam. There is multiple choice questions, there's text questions, so you have to enter in the answer. There is multi-select questions, so for example, you have to select 4 out of the 6 options or 3 out of the 6 options. You have diagram questions, you have drop-down questions, and you have essay questions. I put that in there. I've not seen an essay question, but on the CA YouTube channel, when it describes the exams, there is an essay question on there, but I've never seen one. So what do these exams actually look like? So here is an example exam I got off the internet. This is pretty much exactly what it looks like. It's exactly like this. So you'll have your exam name up here. So for example, let's take mass and balance. Actually, this looks like a meteorology exam. So meteorology will be written up here. You have your total number of questions, and you have the mark. So not all questions are 1 mark. For example, in flight planning, I believe there is some 3-mark questions, and there can be some 2-mark questions as well, and 1 marks. So you have this is the question. You can go to the previous question or to the next question from here, and you have your time limit at the bottom. So I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe this starts at not orange. This starts off as green, and as it goes along, it gets orange. And I think at the end, it gets to red. I'm not sure, but I think it does that. I did my exams 5 years ago, so time limit at the bottom. Then on the right hand side, you have the number of questions, so you can click on each individual question and just skip to it. Then you've got blue is unanswered, green is answered, and then you can also flag questions up here as well. And then you can come back to them. For example, if you're not too sure about an answer, you can flag it and come back to it later. Then you also have this. This is how you flag the question. You click this, and then you can type in comments to the question as well. And I believe all comments have to be read. For example, if you think there's a mistake in the question or it's worded like badly or worded wrong, you can add a comment over here. So let's go over the question banks. I'm sure if you ask anyone about ATPLs, they'll mention question banks. So question banks are, as the name suggests, it's just a bank of all the questions that have come up in previous ATPL exams. The way these work is students who have done the exams, they'll submit their questions to these question banks, and then they'll put them in the database. Now, the question bank I used when I did my ATPLs was Bristol Ground School, BGS. But there is a new question bank called ATPL GS, and I believe this one is very good. But both of these combined, you shouldn't have any troubles. But be careful with the question banks because there can be wrong questions on there, and also some of the figures. For example, if you're doing a mass and balance, if you're looking at mass and balance questions in the question bank, some of the figures could be wrong because these are from students. The way these question banks are made. So the biggest tip I can give about the ATPLs is feedback. Get feedback from everyone you can. So for example, instructors will always have the best feedback because they're very up to date on what exams are done, and every sitting they'll get feedback from students that have sat the exams, what sort of trick questions are coming up, and what sort of questions are coming up if they've seen questions in previous exams as well. So getting feedback from instructors is one of the biggest tips I can give you. If I had actually read the feedback from if I had actually read the feedback from the instructors when I did my HP exam, I probably would have passed because some of the questions I got wrong, I looked at after in the feedback and they were there, so I could have passed it first time. But this is how you learn. And then you can get feedback from others as well who have sat the exams. The way I did the exams was we had a class of 20, so we split into two groups. So you have the morning group and you have the evening group. And so I was in the morning group, so I did HP first, and then I was doing MET in the evening. And then the other group, they were doing MET in the morning and HP in the evening. So then you can get feedback from others who have sat the exams in different in the morning group or the afternoon group, and you can share the feedback like that as well. Now, also another way to get feedback is through the forums. Now, unfortunately, after Brexit, the exams have been split up. So you have EASA exams and UK CAA exams. When I did mine, they were EASA exams, so you could go on any ATPL forum and you could get feedback from others who have sat the exams. But unfortunately, I think a lot of the forums are EASA forums, but you can probably still find some UK forums. And this leads me on to joining my community. So first link in the description is my school community. I've set up my own aviation kind of school there, and I'm going to be trying to put as much UK CA feedback as I can. I'll have an ATPL guide on there, I'll have airline interview guides on there, I'll have ATPL, A320 guides on there, so it should be a one-stop shop to all flight school flight school guides. So another tip I can give you is a website called Quizlet. So this is a flashcard website, but on this website you can make your own flashcards, but you can also view others' flashcards. So I did a quick search and I found this ATPL Principles of Flight Formulas flashcard. So you can use this flashcard, it's got all the formulas on it, and they have tons of other flashcards that people have already made. So you can make your own flashcards. This is one of the best ways I learnt. I was making flashcards of questions I found difficult, or acronyms and formulas and things. So making my own flashcards, that was a great way to learn, and also doing other people's flashcards as well. So if you use Quizlet, I think it's a great resource for the flashcards. Another tip I can give you is don't just learn the answers, don't just memorize the bank, because figures are always changing, they're always adding new questions into the bank. For example, when I did my instruments exam, I had pretty much seen every single question before, but when I did my flight planning exam, that was the hardest exam I ever did, and because every single question was a new question. I had so many fill in the boxes, but that's just the luck of randomly generated exams. Please do not learn the answers, actually learn how to do the questions, learn the formulas, and learn the theory as well, because as I said, they do change the questions, and I know people that have come out the exam who thought they've seen one question, but one of the figures has changed and they've got the question wrong because they learnt the answers. So please do not learn the answers. Yes, the banks are good, but please do learn how to do the questions as well. So those are my tips to passing the ATPL exams. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. I'll try and answer all the questions. And if you want to ask me questions personally and look at the guides that we have on my school community, the link will be the first link in the description. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. I'll be doing more flight school and aviation guides. Just leave a like and subscribe.